so we'll get started again. That works better, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would work better if you just had students.
Or you could just play the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Everybody still good? Can I get a name in?
I'm getting the munchies pretty hard. I think
that's tough, man.
Did you not
All right, so.
This is by no means the official.
All right.
Okay. Some say that she's an evil little thing. And I think that's all I really have to say on that.
It just radiates off me. Hi. Okay, so my name is An Evil Little Thing, and some of you might know me as Jessica Ahlquist. That's okay too. I go by many names. Also Pawn Star. I've heard of that one. So I'm 16. I go to Cranston West, which is in Rhode Island, and my high school, I always believed to be kind of open-minded. I thought that some of the things I read about on the internet were like horror stories from the South. Didn't really happen where I came from. But I learned otherwise, obviously. In my freshman year, my friend told me about a prayer that was on the wall in the auditorium of my school. And mind you, my school is public, so that is obviously illegal. I went to go look at the prayer, and I was really shocked to see it. I thought she might have been confused or referring to something else. I didn't actually believe her at first because, again, it's just not that kind of thing that happens where I'm from. So I saw it, and my first reaction was, I have to go tell somebody so they can take it down. But I didn't know who to talk to. And I was a freshman at the time. It was towards the end of the year. So school let out, and I had break, and over break, coincidentally, and this is pure coincidence, a parent saw it in the auditorium and filed a complaint with the ACLU. And I read about that online in the paper, and I really wanted to show my support for the parent and what she had done. So I started a Facebook group called Support the Removal of the Cranston High School West Prayer. And nobody joined it for a really long time. Nobody knew it existed, nobody cared. It was just a group with me and like my Muslim friend and my 2 atheist friends, and that was it. And my uncle too, I added him. Yep, I'm just that cool. So I was really interested in getting involved, but I didn't know how to. And when I read there was going to be a meeting in November, so this was actually over a pretty good span of time. In November, I went to my first meeting, and that meeting was really interesting. I really did believe that once I went to that meeting and I said to this subcommittee, which they had created to discuss their options, I thought that when I went there, they would, they just take it down. They'd be like, well, obviously this is wrong. We had to make the subcommittee for formal reasons and everything. I didn't actually think they wanted to discuss this and debate whether or not we were going to keep it. And when I went there were crazy people from the very beginning. When I say crazy, I mean people were talking about Nazis and abortion and gay people as if it was somehow relevant. And so I got really angry at one point when somebody said something like, this is a Christian nation. If somebody doesn't like it, they can just look away. And that bothered me. And I had been doing a lot of research, and I knew about the John Adams quote in which he states very clearly this nation is no way a Christian nation. I had also been researching Roger Williams, who is the founding father of my state, and who founded the state on the principle of religious freedom. The only state in the entire country that was founded that way, too. So I decided to stand up and speak, and I actually presented myself as an atheist, and it wasn't really something I had planned. I knew it was taboo to say that, but I didn't really know how much so. And so when I said that, somebody gasped, and a woman named Cara Russo called me a little witch under her breath. That's another name that I have. So I talked about how we need to have separation of church and state in this country, and it's really important for both sides and everything. And when I sat down, this priest said something like, well, and he like looked at me like I'm just like some stupid little girl. He's like, that's how they do it in Russia. And so I think just being at that meeting really just opened my eyes. I was shocked. I got in the car that day and I couldn't even talk. I didn't even know what had just happened. These adults who I thought knew what they were doing. I mean, some of these people are attorneys who have to defend the Constitution. They don't even know what it says. And I was so confused and really upset. And that, I think, was the push for me to get really involved in this. That night, I was interviewed by the local media. It all happened so fast, I still can't even believe it did. But I was interviewed and I was caught saying that I was an atheist, and it was put on local television. So it was obviously spread around the school pretty quickly. And it wasn't too big a deal at the time, so not too many people were saying anything, but it was out there, and some people were starting to catch on. It was getting up there. So over a series of months, these meetings went on and on and on, and I went to a few more. Actually, I went to all of them after that. There was like 4, I think. And at every single one, I spoke and I said, it's illegal. It was illegal last month. It's still illegal now. Take it down. And they just listened and they pretended to be neutral, and they weren't. And at every meeting, more and more people showed up with these signs around their necks that said, keep original banner. Because at one point, my side had said that it would be fine to just change the wording. If you just get rid of the word school prayer from the top, it addresses our Heavenly Father, so you'd have to remove that, and then amen at the bottom. And it's also kind of phrased like a request. It says, grant us each day. So we were talking about maybe rewording it to be more inclusive, maybe like a school motto or creed or something. They didn't want that. They said it was a piece of history and that you'd be destroying it. And mind you, school prayer became illegal in 1962. This was put up in 1963. Just fun facts. So went on and on and on, and at the very last meeting, the full school committee was going to vote on whether or not they were going to keep it up or take it down. And the ACLU was involved, and they knew that there would be a potential lawsuit if they decided to keep it up. But once again, the majority showed up, and they had the mob mentality, and they scared them and bullied them into keeping the prayer up. So the vote was 4-3 to keep the prayer, and that was disappointing. And I had also been emailing with the executive director of the Rhode Island ACLU, and I had agreed to become a plaintiff in the event that they decided to keep the prayer. So we did. I sued my entire city, the city of Cranston, to have the prayer removed, and I think we filed in April, and then in October was the hearing. And we had to wait a long time. Waiting was a big part of this. It's been going on now for 1.5 years. And so all the waiting that was involved was torture, because I was stuck at that school. And I am. I'm stuck at that school because I need to have standing. And as much hell as they put me through, it's been worth it now to kind of come to this. So anyway, last week we found out that we won. Or I guess it was the week before last week, because it's Sunday today. But we won the lawsuit, and that was a few months after we had gone to the hearing. And the funny thing about the hearing, the judge who was hearing our complaint he's very old, he's 80 years old, and he's very conservative. So I was scared, I was very scared. But at the hearing, when the bad judges, or not the bad judges, the bad lawyers, that's what I call them, because I don't remember their names or anything. Yeah, the bad guys, that's their side. They said something like, oh, well, at the time and place this was put up, most people wanted it, therefore it's okay. And I was so frustrated just sitting there, but luckily I have an amazing lawyer, and the judge was really interested in this. And I just remember my favorite thing about the whole day was he just turned to the judge and said, I wonder how you would feel if it was a prayer to the Buddha. And he was really taken aback and really surprised by that. And I was happy because it was a point that I had wanted to make. He's only saying this because he's extremely religious. He's like one of 7, and he has 7 kids, and they own everything in the city. So, and they tried to claim that this was a secular prayer. There's a religious organization that's helping the city out. So it's a religious organization fighting to keep a secular prayer up. and they did that a lot. They shot themselves in the foot a lot over these months of the meetings. We have videos. I have an amazing uncle who took footage of every minute of these meetings, and we have them on YouTube, and they really can't deny saying the things they said. And so that's helped us tremendously, and again, we just won. But since we won, that's when things started getting really interesting, because my city's really mad at me. And my community no longer likes me. Never really did. But
You can do better.
okay, it's a challenge.
Make your whole state hate you.
It's like this big.
I was going to say Rhode Island Village and go around with all 20 of them.
Not that hard. And so I think, well, first of all, I don't think I've had to sleep or eat since we got the decision, because this has just consumed my entire life, and now having won this is just like, I finally won. Wow, something actually happened. So there have been a lot of threats, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen them already. If I can remember. Okay, so I actually have the website right here, right now.
Hey, can I just point out that that is the coolest name for a blog ever?
It is. They're right there. How cool is that?
You guys are
So thank you for these, because this is perfect. I wasn't smart enough to do this myself. And so these are an example. I'm not going to read all of them, but this is the kind of thing that was said, mostly on Twitter. Some of it was on Facebook, but they're actually kind of funny.
You come over.
Yeah. I like hashtag bitch. Hashtag. And someone else called me a stupid little brainless skunk. I'm not a skunk. I don't want to put that word.
No, my favorite ones are always the "you must be unloved."
Yeah.
Those are always
That girl's in my bio class.
Oh.
I was really upset about that, because
I like Team Heaven because you know she's also a Twilight fan.
more points to her.
She's not even. Oh.
And I love this. I'm a psycho bitch.
Yes, definitely.
I really where that
Psycho bitch is one word.
Okay, and my favorite person is Taylor Crocker. Taylor Crocker is, yes, I'm garbage, and oh, this is another cool one.
What does that even mean?
Does Rhode Island like mass produce
Hateful internet Christians have never been known for their good grammar. It's just.
If you ever see somebody walking towards you just holding an ankle.
And this is my secret boyfriend. I know he likes me. He just won't admit it. He's been trolling my Facebook group. He has such a great life, I guess. He goes on my Facebook group all the time, and he just says stupid things. He makes these fake accounts like "I hate atheists" when he joins my group. There's another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
And I love how there's a fist bump.
Hey, you.
It started off where like, oh, we hate her, and it gradually turned into, let's beat her up, and I will beat her up. So it actually ended up where the police had to look into this, and I am now being escorted to my classes by police officers.
That's gonna be the coolest thing ever.
It's really not. I can tell you, it's really awkward actually. Good luck having a conversation with your friends in the hallway with police behind you.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. This one was directed at me from Taylor Cocker.
What's the picture for that one? It's like a naked Kim Jong-il.
I think everyone should just fight this girl.
Well, it's obvious.
I can take all of them at the same time.
See if you're naked.
Hey, you.
I'm looking for my favorite one. I'm sorry. I'm not expecting it to go. No.
You know that
Satan is gonna rape her. Okay, my favorite one, I don't think it's on here, but my favorite one is from Taylor Cocker, and she said, and I quote, "Oh my God, she almost as bad as blacks."
That sounds like something from down here, doesn't it?
Are you sure she's not around here?
That's the kind of stuff on the internet, and these are kids who are hearing, I think, a lot of this stuff at home. Their parents are saying things like, this girl and everything, they're making a terrible face. But anyway, I want to show you a video of the last school committee meeting. There was one last week, and this was after the ruling, so a lot of people were very angry. Keep that in mind. And so this is my favorite speaker of the night, and I think it gives you a really good idea of the kind of attitude that these people at these meetings had.
Yes.
There's no volume. How do I turn this on?
Come on, Ray. You should be able to do this.
It's already.
I don't think we know about it.
But it's not moving. Only YouTube is.
Let's try this.
And this is just for fun.
Try that. See if that's good anything. Try that. Okay.
Hi, Lisa French, 28 Harris Avenue, apartment L10, Cranston, Rhode Island. Good evening. You have before you a very important decision. To let stand an unconstitutional ruling or to appeal it. Keep in mind the fact that a precedent is being set, okay? This is not just a Cranston, Rhode Island problem. This is the United States of America problem. Now, you should ask yourselves, should such a small minority over a vast period of time, we're talking decades, okay? Decades. Should a small minority be able to decide what should stand and what should not stand after a vast majority of time, such as decades? I think not, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know what type of math you're teaching, but when I went to school, 2 was greater than 1. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe you folks are teaching a new type of math. If you are, you better cut it out. Watch things in the face of God Almighty. Plus that, I want to let you know that separation of church and state is not in our Constitution. It's not been said, but it's been alluded to. Here, I'm reading from the Constitution of the USSR, Article 124, Chapter 10. In order to ensure to citizens freedom of conscience. Let that sink in. Freedom of conscience. That means your consciences will be pricked by the word of God, or seared if you sin. Yes, I said the word sin. The church in the
said Ron Paul 20
That's
probably the wrong
I was actually, the angle of the camera, I was actually near it, and I was having a lot of trouble, like, breathing. I think you can hear that a little bit.
Who were the gentlemen that were like behind her, like behind?
Because the dude who
I
was
guess it was to her side, so we saw him behind her.
The setup is stage up here, seats down there. This is in an auditorium, not my auditorium. And there was like a podium here. And so people off to the side, kind of behind her, are just people sitting and watching.
Okay. They look like lawyers or something. We're like trying to hold off on laughing.
This is, I can show you this just for fun.
Is that the one where she gets froze?
Ron was the last speaker that had signed up. Are there any other speakers? Okay. Already spoken, officer, please. There's the mic.
Lieutenant, she said, Lieutenant, this cash up here, she just wants to
Pay for the thing. I'm not ignorant. Please go ahead.
They say I'm looking for attention.
Hey, I have a question. In the first video, did she really say chapter 10 when she was referring to the Constitution?
She was talking about the USSR.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
either way, there are no chapters in legal documents. What was that? Yeah.
Well, it really sounded like USSR.
It really did
But
sound
the
like she was
USSR doesn't exist anymore either, so.
And I'm sure they
But
also
the
have laws
Constitution
with
still
Kindle,
does, you
which
should know there are.
Anyway. I just like to show that video now that I have it because I think it's a really good example of the kinds of stuff that I was telling you about. People were talking about Nazis and communism and all these crazy things, and it's frustrating and it's wrong. And so there's another person at these meetings, Christopher Young. He's engaged to Cara Russo, the woman who called me a little witch. And they like to run in Providence, and they say things like, "Oh my God, they're trying to take God out of the government." Yeah.
gotta be in there first.
And actually their entire campaign is that we want to put God in the government, and it's really scary. And he's also there, and he said I made my own attacks. He said that I actually, all these threats that are on here, they're from me under different profiles and stuff. He said that I propagated these things. And then he also said that,
Split personalities.
that, yeah, I have to have a lot of time on my hands for this. This is a lot of
A
people.
lot of Twitter accounts.
And that's like identity theft. I know her. But the point is, it got really intense, and it still is. And it got so intense where a flower shop, 6 flower shops, refused to send me flowers. And one of them came right out and said, "We won't send flowers to that atheist girl." And the F4F had been the Freedom from Religion Foundation had been trying to send me flowers, and Angela Gieler said she's never seen a society react this way before. In all her years, she's never seen it get quite this bad. And I'm shocked, and I really didn't expect it to go this far. Every step, I was just like, it's not going to get worse than this. They're not going to keep doing this, right? And it just did, and it keeps happening. And it's amazing, but I'm really lucky to have support from a lot of different people. A lot of it's online, a lot of it is coming to things like this. And I have help from the Secular Student Alliance and JT Everhard, who's going to be speaking after me. I also have a lot of help from the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the Center for Inquiry, and all these other great organizations out there. And it's really opened my eyes to the fact that this movement that we're involved in needs a lot more young people to speak out. And what Duncan did with his group in his high school, so important. And people need to feel this sense of community. I felt entirely alone. I felt so alone for such a long time. Even when I was 10 years old, I realized I was an atheist and I didn't think I had any friends. And it's really hard. And I think that especially kids at the college level can start helping, because I know that a lot of times high school kids, if an adult group wants to help them, it can be a little bit difficult. If it's college kids who are kind of close to their age in their area, that can be really helpful to them. And they need those resources, and they need people, they need role models, and they need to know that they're not alone and that it does get better when they get out of high school. So if you could be those people for these high school kids and for younger people, it's so important, and it really does. It happens all over the country, as you've seen. And there's stories about Damon Fowler and Harrison Hopkins and Zach Copeland, who was fighting creationism in Louisiana. It happens everywhere, and it happens all the time. And if we can give them support, and hopefully I can give back, because this community has been so good to me, I think we can definitely make a big difference and a big dent in the problems that we have. Thank you.
Yes, comrades, was most excellent talk. So there's a coffee shop downstairs, and I thought I'd mention all these speaking things, whatever you call them. They'll be on the internet. Is it the internet? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Not if Lamar Smith has his way.
Right.
I'm not advocating that.
Okay. But they'll be on my YouTube channel, King Heathen's Table, hopefully tomorrow, sometime soon. I'll have links to it all over Facebook. They'll be everywhere. But we can take another break real fast. We'll, finagle with things up here, and then we'll have JT.